Well, hello, welcome. This is Michelle Calloway with REVEALiO. I'm also going to be presenting Greg Jameson, influencer expert, as part of our Tech with Heart expert pop-ups that we're going to be doing now more and more of on Facebook Live. Welcome, Greg. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Michelle, I am super happy to be here, and this is going to be fun.
I think so too. All right, so for those of you who do not know me, I'm Michelle Calloway. I'm the founder and CEO of REVEALiO, which is a brand spanking new disruptive marketing technology that is really grabbing focus of big corporate giants like Facebook, Google, and Apple. And I'm going to go ahead and just go into presentation mode and share a little bit about what Tech with Heart is all about. Again, I'm an international best-selling author, and I was also recently featured in Inc. magazine with this new cutting-edge technology. So what we have found when we were out and about demonstrating what this technology can do in the realm of connecting us with one another, we kept hearing from business owners saying, oh wow, I had no clue anything like this even existed. In fact, they would tell me that they just are so overwhelmed by how fast technology is moving that they just couldn't keep up with it, and it was like kind of a pain point of theirs. So I got this idea of coming up with a community that we can build around the premise of how can we use technology to quickly grow our business and use some of these really cool disruptive new marketing techniques and technologies, and be able to be a differentiator in our field. But we also need to not forsake our need to connect with one another as humans, right? So Tech with Heart was born as an idea of building community. But before I want to go into the three things that Tech with Heart is all about, I wanted to share a little story. You see, the inspiration about why I ended up building REVEALiO the way I did was about a young girl who saw that with this new technology, I could essentially make real live objects or images come alive with a personal message. And she really loved the concept because, see, she had fallen in love with a soldier who was deployed overseas, and she missed him like crazy. She said, oh, her heart ached. So we created a thinking of you like love card, a physical card that we mailed to him, and she created a little video on her phone, and then he received the card. He downloaded the REVEALiO app, and lo and behold, the card came alive, and this is what he saw.
Hey Josh, it's Gabby. Yes, I'm on an app. Kind of weird, but it's raining here, and it's cold. Somehow that made me think of Germany. Not sure why. But I miss you so much.
So that was the message that he saw. It was very personal. I don't know if you're able to hear that or not. However, when he saw it, he said it rocked him to his core. And it made the distance between the two of them just shrink up. And then he said he felt so much that she was right there with him because she just spoke to him on the card, that he carried that card in his wallet every day while serving overseas because it made him feel that she was right there with him. Wow, right? So when I saw that power of human connection through this technology called augmented reality, I totally knew I needed to build it in a way that everybody could have that experience. Originally, it was a greeting card concept more for like consumers, but now we've created a model that allows you to do this for as a business owner. You can make your business cards or book covers come alive.
Hi, Michelle Calloway here. I'm a speaker, author, and tech founder of REVEALiO, an augmented reality marketing tool that you're actually witnessing right now. If you love what you're seeing and think that there's a credible potential of using it in your business as a marketing tool, please tap on the website button on your mobile screen and go to my website and learn more.
That is the premise of what REVEALiO is, and now we're doing this Tech with Heart initiative to build a community around heart-centered, forward-thinking business owners who do want to set themselves apart, and they are interested in using technology to do that, but they're also very heart-focused, meaning that they don't want to forsake our need to communicate and connect with one another as people. So it's a heart-centered community of forward-thinking business owners. And then we're going to, every month, we're going to share a little bit more of a concept or a technique or an emerging technology that maybe you don't know about. And so Tech with Heart is going to be about knowledge. First it's about community, and then it's about knowledge. And these are some of the concepts and topics that we'll be discussing throughout the year. We're going to be having guest speakers every single month. And today we're excited to have Greg Jameson with us. Then after we talk about what awesome technologies or techniques out there that you can implement into your business, we're going to talk about how we can empower you to take those steps. So at the end of every guest speaker presentation, we're going to have the opportunity to provide you with where to go to learn more, or how to get involved with maybe a hands-on workshop or whatnot. So Tech with Heart is going to be about community, knowledge, and empowerment. And if you are interested in joining this initiative, please join our mailing list at techwithheartnetwork.com. Again, my name is Michelle Calloway. You can get a hold of me personally at mcalloway@revealio.com. So that's my presentation. I wanted to just get it back to Greg now, and we're going to talk to you about what he's excited to bring to the table, and he is an expert influencer. Right, Greg?
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, and so we're going to go ahead and get him going, but before I do, I want to introduce him to you because he's kind of a big deal. He's kind of a big deal. So,
Kind of, yeah.
Greg's been in the industry, the digital commerce industry, for about 30 years, and he's really a master at the e-commerce web type of business owners. He actually has written a book about how if you model your business after Amazon, you would totally slay it. Right, Greg? Totally slay
Absolutely.
it. Yeah. And then he's also written a book called The Influencer Effect, which you can see that's next to him there, but here is a copy of it. And it's all amazing knowledge that you need to be kind of incorporating in your business. He's going to share a little bit more with us about how just something as simple as customer service could provide an influencer marketing effect that is, is going to get people buzzing about you and have them giving everybody your name, dropping your name left and right because they were just overwhelmed by how awesome you are. So that's why the title of this talk is How to Be So Good That You Can't Be Ignored. So with that, let me introduce you #1 best-selling author of multiple books, the one, the only master of influence, Greg Jameson. Yay!
Thanks, Michelle. When Michelle and I first met, it was actually because of her REVEALiO app, and I got really excited when I saw it. She showed me a book, actually, a colleague of ours, Russell Brunson, and she held up the book with the REVEALiO app, and Russell started speaking, and I was like, that is really cool. I want to be able to share that with the people that I go out and try to influence. And one of the things about it that I thought was really a unique possibility is, imagine in the e-commerce, or not even in the e-commerce space, but in a physical store space where you have point of sale materials out there and you don't have that much staff to be able to answer everybody's questions, or even if you do, people are frequently like, oh, I'm just browsing or whatever. But just think, you're going through this huge department store of whatever kind it might be. It might be outdoor equipment or whatever, and you've got these little point of sales next to all of the items that you have for sale there. And you hold up the little REVEALiO app, and a sales rep comes on and starts to describe that product for you. Mm-hmm. That can be super powerful. So I thought, that is a really cool thing, and I'm really excited that Michelle has a product out there that is so good that you can't ignore it, which is really kind of what we're talking about here today, is being so good that people can't ignore you.
Yeah, definitely. We all, as business owners, we need to find ways to differentiate ourselves that cause people to walk away feeling something. It's so important that we really evoke emotion. It's not just, oh, okay. We want them to be like, oh, wow. Oh, wow.
That's exactly what it is the wow factor.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the title of this presentation today here is to be so good that people can't ignore you. And that's actually a quote by Steve Martin. Don't normally think of a comedian as coming up with something so profound as that, but it really is true. And when I saw that quote, it caused me to think about a couple of different things that have happened in my life, and I shared these with Michelle recently. One is as it relates to insurance companies. I personally have a big problem with almost every insurance company out there, and my wife used to sell insurance, so she knows how I feel about it too. Insurance companies are not in the business of protecting you. insurance companies are in the business of making money. And therefore, the typical response of most insurance companies is, we'll collect your premiums every month, and when it comes time to have a claim with us, our first reaction is deny the claim. And only when you start to complain at them and threaten them do they come back and say, okay, well, here's what we're going to do type thing. They never just pay the claim and go on with it. So I was like, and it doesn't make any difference what kind of insurance it is. It seems like it doesn't matter if it's homeowners insurance, car insurance, health insurance, whatever it is, that insurance companies basically suck, right? Mm-hmm. With the exception of USAA, who started out as being military insurance, and I got it because my father was in the military. USAA is a phenomenal company, and every one of their customers are basically really strong brand advocates for this insurance company. And it's like, how can an insurance company get that strong of brand advocates? And it's because of the way they treat their customers. Specifically, I know that I was driving my father-in-law's Cadillac one time, and I pulled into a gas station, and there's cars at the pumps. And so I pulled around to the right of where the cars were parked for getting gas. And as I'm pulling around, the guy at the pump decides that he's going to pull out without looking, and he broadsided the car, and he did a few $1,000s worth of damage to it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think a whole lot about the fact that either he or his insurance company would be a jerk. We exchanged information, driver's license stuff. He gave me the name of his insurance company and admitted that he was at fault and said, here's my rep, here's my insurance number, and so forth. Well, by the time that the claim actually got to his insurance company, and I don't even remember which one it was, they've denied it. And he came back and basically changed his story as well so that his rates wouldn't go up. And I'm kind of left holding the bill here. So I turned it into my company, USAA. They had the thing paid within a matter of about 30 minutes.
Whoa.
And
whoa.
Then they went after the other insurance company to get their money back. I have no idea if they ever collected it or not, but it didn't matter to me because my company stood behind me and did what was right. In another case, we had a different insurance company as our homeowners insurance, and every time we'd have a hailstorm, it would ding up our roof and cause some of the shingles to start breaking and so forth. We'd turn in a claim, and they denied it like every time for like 3 times in a row. And I finally got frustrated, and USAA came out with a homeowner's policy in the meantime, and I immediately switched. Mm-hmm. The next time we had a hailstorm, same thing happened. Some of the shingles broke, and I filed a claim with USAA, and they replaced my entire roof. Even though a lot of the damage had happened 2 and 3 storms ago, they were like, we're insuring this house. It's worth a lot of money to us, and we want to make sure that it is in good condition going forward. So they paid for a whole new roof, even though these other companies wouldn't do that. When you start to have that type of a relationship with your customers are going to brag on you, and they're going to be customers for life.
I mean, look at you now. I mean, here you are totally promoting them on a video that's going to be out there to the world for forever, right? So yeah, obviously they did a really great job.
They are a phenomenal company. Now, the other company that I was sharing with Michelle recently is Vail Ski Resorts. And Vail's got a lot of things going for it. The fact is that I like all ski companies. Unlike insurance companies, I like all ski companies. But Vail stands out head and shoulders above everybody else because of the kinds of things they do. And you might think, okay, it's because you go up to Vail and you're spending a lot of money when you go to a resort like Vail, and they hand you warm chocolate chip cookies when you stand in the line, and they sit there and they talk to you and so forth.
Wow.
But that's not really what makes them stand out. What makes them stand out is how they go out of their way to really make their customers feel like they are special. And two specific instances. One is I was up there one time and I was actually borrowing my son's race skis. And these were like $1,500 race skis. Get to the top of the gondola and I set them in the rack and go inside and go to the bathroom, and I came out and they were gone.
Whoa.
It's like, this is not good.
No.
So I went over to the ski patrol and I told them what happened, and they're like, don't worry about it. We'll have your skis back for you by the end of the day. And I was kind of like, yeah, right. There's 15,000 people on the mountain. How are you going to possibly find them? And they said, no, seriously, we'll get them back for you. And I'm like, well, what do I do in the meantime? And they said, go take the gondola back down. I said, sorry, you're going to miss a run here, but take the gondola back down, go into this shop and pick out any pair of skis that you want to for the day.
Oh, how cool.
That was really cool. Yeah. So I went and I got a good pair of demo skis, went out and enjoyed the mountain. And about 3 p.m, the ski patrol called and said, hey, we have your skis back and you can come get them.
Whoa. Wow. What a shocker. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that they actually cared enough to be on the lookout across this whole huge mountain just to find my skis.
Well, I guess it would make sense too that they really would want to put that investigative effort in, because otherwise you would probably be able to say, hey, my $1,500 skis were stolen at, Vail, and that gives them a bad rap, right? Like they don't want to have people think that there's a lot of thieves afoot, right? So yeah. That's good. That's great though, actually though. That's really impressive to me.
Yeah. And then the other thing they did, and it was actually the same day, is that my son decided that he would be talking on his cell phone while he's skiing down the mountain. He's a superb skier, and he, just wasn't paying attention, I guess, because this blue run all of a sudden turned into a cliff run. And he's talking away on his cell phone, and all of a sudden he's like, oh no. And he drops his cell phone, goes tumbling over this cliff into a pile of snow. And he's like, now what am I going to do? How am I going to get that? So he skis on down, and he finds a ski patrolman and told him what happened. And this is like at the end of the day. It's like 4:00 when the lifts close. Oh. And the ski patrolman's like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll call your dad and we'll see if we can get you back up there to where you dropped your phone. So the ski patrolman called me. I told him where I was on the mountain. He came over in a snowmobile, got me with my son, and drove us back up to the top of this cliff so that we could try to find his cell phone.
Oh, wow.
And like I said, my son's a pretty good skier. He didn't really care that it was at the bottom of this cliff. I cared. I used to be able to ski stuff like that, but I'm older now, and it wasn't all that comfortable for me to get down this cliff. But we did get down to the bottom of it, and I called his cell phone then, which he could hear through the pile of snow. It was actually about 3 feet under this snow because it had snowed a lot the night before.
Oh, wow.
But we found his phone, and it was all because this ski patrolman went out of his way to contact me and then bring us back up on the mountain after the lifts were closed. That kind of customer service is going to make people really stand out.
It's a major above and beyond, right? So
yeah. And you hear stories about that with things like Nordstrom, we rent helicopters or whatever some of those stories are. And the kind of following that a Harley Davidson has, where their customers are just incredibly loyal brand advocates. People, I personally don't own a Rolls Royce, but I've heard the same type of thing. I heard a story one time about somebody that broke the axle on their Rolls Royce, and he took it into the repair shop and went back in, a few days later to pick it up. And they said that they'd just send him the invoice or whatever. And it went by for a couple months and he never got an invoice. And finally he called the repair shop back and was like, hey, I never got this invoice for the broken axle on my Rolls Royce. And their response was, you must be mistaken, sir. The axles on a Rolls Royce do not break.
Oh, I see what they're doing. Uh-huh. Yeah.
But it's no wonder people are loyal brand advocates, right?
Yeah. Superior product, superior service, right? That's what you want to have people think of you.
Being really taking care of your customer like that. And it doesn't really matter what it is that you provide in the way of products or services. If you can create that kind of a loyal following, then, we talk a little bit here about influencer marketing. Those kind of people are going to be influencers for you, even without you going through kind of the traditional things of, hey, I'm going to go out and actively search for a celebrity to endorse my product and promote it as an influencer, because your customers will be your influencers.
That's a really great premise, because we all need to think about it. I mean, I'm sitting here looking and listening to you, thinking about just REVEALiO, for instance. We're still such a young company and we're figuring stuff out. And sometimes things work great and sometimes there's glitches. And every time there's a glitch, I cringe a little because I don't want somebody to walk away saying, oh my goodness, this technology is super great, but like the customer service is lacking or whatever. So I'm really focused on that right now, because that is so incredibly important. And so maybe you can speak a little bit as to like a small business owner. What are some typical type of concepts, practices, policies, and or maybe even a tech aspect of what is it that they can be implementing in their business today that is really going to start setting that foundation for that quality customer service? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. We had some tech issues today trying to get this video going, right?
Yeah.
And so the reality is that it makes both you and I look like we don't know what we're doing in some ways, and we're both in the technology field. So it's frustrating when that kind of thing happens. But I think that people are relatively forgiving of technology glitches as long as they understand how much you care.
Okay, that's a good one. That's great. Let's talk about how can you express how much you care? What are some policies or thoughts on that?
For example, I actually have a customer that just yesterday, their website started going slower and slower, and I didn't really know what the issue was. I suspected that it was probably because they had updated some plugin or something and the plugin was no longer compatible type thing. So I went through the process of doing a site restore for them in order to get their stuff back to where it was. And then I went in and updated all their plugins one by one until I got the site back to the way that it should have been. Now, that cost me a fair amount of time, but what it does is it makes the customer go, hey, this guy actually cares about our business and he's going to be looking out for us. So I think that anytime that you have a glitch in your business, technology, shipping, whatever, just kind of go out of your way to show the customer that you really do care. And those people are going to be loyal customers for a long time when you do things like that.
So yeah, so some concepts on how you can make them feel so well taken care of. It doesn't have to cost you necessarily a tremendous amount of expense, I guess, monetary expense, because a lot of startups, money is always going to be an issue because so like when you were talking about the Rolls Royce, covering the axle, the cost of replacing an axle, I don't know what that cost was to them, but I think that as a business owner, there's lots of ways that you can perhaps influence somebody to want to be still bragging about you, even though they experience some negative along the way, that a glitch or that broken this or, that like for me, that form that didn't upload properly or whatever. I think that there's little things you can do, like even something as simple as sending them a thank you card in the mail. Thank you for your business. Something a little bit more human connection touch.
One that comes to life with REVEALiO too, right?
Well, in that case, yeah, definitely REVEALiO all the way, people, because this technology allows people to connect in a very authentic way, but it's magical when it happens in front of you, when a tangible object comes alive with a personal message. It's fantastic. But I'm just saying, even just the gesture of, hey, you know what, we do appreciate you, we value you, or maybe throw in a Starbucks gift card or something. Like it's that warmth of human caring. I care about you. I care about your success. I'm not just saying it in my words, but I'm saying it with my actions, confirming it.
Absolutely. So the other point that I kind of want to make here while we're chatting today is you mentioned the word authenticity. And I think the other thing that kind of goes along with that is trustworthiness.
Mm-hmm.
And really, I did a podcast on this the other day, and then I was a guest on somebody's this morning where they were asking me about that. And I really think that, as people that are trying to influence others into purchasing products and services, that your ability to be trustworthy is absolutely paramount to this whole concept of your customers being loyal back to you. So if you do have a problem, somebody's website goes down, in my case, somebody's axle breaks in the case of a car manufacturer, whatever, that you are totally open and honest with them and say, you know what, I don't know what caused this, but here's what I'm going to do to fix it. It may take 3 or 4 days to do it, but I'm looking out for you and I'm going to take care of this, even though I don't know why it happened.
True that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, people, they'll care more about you when you do indeed prove to them how much you care, and building that trust factor is so part of, I guess, being authentic. You can't be authentic and be untrustworthy. The two just go hand in hand. That's what,
Yeah, absolutely.
one needs the other. So that's fantastic. Do you have any other tech tips or anything like that you'd like to introduce to the Tech with Heart audience about, as far as customer service goes? Any policies or procedures that you could use, any kind of a tech tool to help them maintain, maybe like a log of who had what problem, how was it resolved, or anything like that? Do you have any thoughts on that?
There's actually lots of different tools out there in terms of kind of providing those kinds of solutions for logging in. And it doesn't even have to be a technical support problem. It could just be a customer service problem.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But
to track all that. Mm-hmm.
Logging what those issues are, let people logging in and seeing kind of what the current steps in the resolution of it are. There are, like I said, a number of different tools out there for doing that. So I don't know that any one of those is necessarily better than another. But in terms of kind of a tool for influencers, one of the things that I recommend to people all the time, and you're doing this with REVEALiO, is I think every company should have an affiliate program. And I don't care if you are a local dentist. I think that the fact is that if you are really serving your customers and they're excited about what it is that you're offering, if you can go out there and have them share that with somebody else and send them a small token of appreciation for sharing things, that will go a long ways towards building your business.
Agreed, because the affiliate programs are very, very affordable, and they're automatically digital. But you also can do word of mouth referral programs as a part of the affiliate program. Very much, we did something as simple as add a field in our order forms asking people who referred you, so that we could reward that person if they're part of our affiliate program. So it's a great tool, automated through the digital process. For digital marketing, it works really great. You share a little comment on a social media, provide your link to that person's business, and if that viewer that watched that, clicks on that and goes and makes a purchase, then you get rewarded for sharing the word. I mean, it's just like this, why can't we all like benefit one another? That's what Tech with Heart is all about. Actually, I'm building a community of, and it's going to ultimately become a huge referral network of people that we vetted so that we know, like, and trust them, and we trust that they're going to take care of the people we refer to them, right? So that's going to be this huge community just all about that heart-centered use of technology to help us all grow together. We all have our own momentum in our business, but if we start rubbing up against each other, the momentum will pick up. And so it's that benefit of one person, one business, or one human helping another human be successful so that we all win. I love that whole premise, the referral concept, the affiliate concept. It's brilliant. Movie companies should do it, because how many times do you see people bragging about this movie that they just came out and saw, and nobody's getting rewarded for that other than that their friends are going to have some entertainment value. But
movies and restaurants both. The fact is I tell people when they ask me about influencer marketing, I'm like, we're all influencers to some extent. Just look at movies and look at restaurants and so forth. Even look at online reviews of where I'm going to stay at a hotel tonight. I'm going to believe a total stranger and the experience that they had at this hotel when I make my decision as to whether or not to stay there. So we are all influencing people. And if you can, as a business owner, understand that, and do like what you were saying, reward somebody because they are recommending your products or service, then you're going to rock it going forward. Because influencer marketing, while it's been around for a few years, that's really what we're seeing more and more of how people actually purchase products and services is based upon peer recommendations.
Peer recommendation, and that recommendation is always going to come off of an experience. And again, that's why REVEALiO is so incredibly powerful, because right up front, we provide business owners the opportunity to provide an experience, a memorable, like, wow factor experience for anybody that they just meet for the first time. So that's the great place to start. And customer service is obviously a great place to always end. You want to continue to work on your customer service, improving your different methodologies that you can implement in your business that won't break the bank, but will make your customers feel so warm and snuggly. Like, oh my goodness, these people are so awesome. I totally want to have more for dinner. You want people to feel that way. It's an emotion that we're looking to evoke, because realistically, most small businesses are in an oversaturated sea of competition. So what can you do differently? This is just one aspect. Customer service is just one aspect of what we can do that's different from others that make people rant and raving about us, right? And feel warm and fuzzy inside. So that is what this Tech with Heart thing is all about. That's what REVEALiO is all about. Greg, it sounds like that's what you're all about. It's quality. It's human. It feels great. It makes you smile. It makes your heart smile. It makes your belly tingle a little, because it's so unique these days, because we're just overwhelmed. We're just oversaturated. So let's be so great at what we do, right? That people cannot ignore us.
Absolutely.
I love that. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to share? What about, how can people work with you, Greg?
Well, people can go to my website, which is just gregjameson.com, and there's actually a menu selection there that says connect. So you can just gregjameson.com/connect, and that's got a way that you can get to all of my social media sites and my blog and my podcast and everything else where you can follow me. You can also, on the gregjameson.com/connect, one of the items on that page is coaching, and I've actually just put up a deal on there for this video here where people can get a free 15-minute coaching call with me. So just go to that gregjameson.com/connect, click on the coaching, and one of the choices there, you'll see all of the paid choices, but one of the choices there is going to be a free session with me. So you can go ahead and click on that and set up a time, and I'd love to talk to anybody that's watching this video.
Perfect. We'll make sure that link is available in the chat section of the Facebook posting that we put up there, as well as we'll put this on our Tech with Heart site on Facebook as well, just so that we can replay this again and again and again. You've been amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a little bit of your time and sharing your wonderful stories and words of wisdom on how we can all stand out and make people just so amazed by us that they can't possibly ignore us. I love that concept. I love it. All right. So have a great day.
Thanks, Michelle.
All right. Take good care. We'll talk to
All
you
right.
soon. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.